On this week's weekly video fishing forecast, the yellow-eyed devils have invaded our waters from west to east. The hot weakfish bite is still going on in the Great South Bay. Fred has the surf report, and I will showcase one of the Dreamboat way stations and anglers like you reporting in from around the island, all here at the new Fisherman.com.
The fishing news is sponsored by these fine partners.
The biggest spring striped bass competition is back this year. Suffolk Marine Anglers is holding their 16th annual bass tournament. Shotgun starts Sunday, June 6th, with over $20,000 in prizes, and money will be raised benefiting Hospice Cares Network Child Betterment Program. The captain's meeting will be held at Miller's Ale House in Deer Park on Thursday, June 3rd. For all the info, visit SuffolkAnglers.com. News 12 meteorologist Rich Von Owen is catching some nice bass to the west and has this holiday weekend's outlook. Rich?
All right, thanks, Matt. Hey, anglers, let's check out the weekend forecast. As always, you can always check your favorite sites to see what's happening this weekend, but I think they're all going to agree that the weather is not going to be terrific. It's going to be a tough one here. Water temps 50s, 60s. At least the water temps came up a little bit. But we are dealing with some big waves, big weather, northeast breeze, almost like a coastal storm. Yeah, 8 to 12, 12 to 16 in the ocean. Very dangerous conditions here. Got to use your head this weekend, guys. It's going to be tough. The sound may be doable. The bays may be doable. But all weekend long with that northeast breeze, all that red and orange is big-time wave action, breakers coming in, tough conditions in the ocean. Northeast, 15, 25, up to 30, probably gale warnings, maybe some storm warnings up. Some rain mostly for Saturday. Maybe Sunday it's not as windy and certainly not as rainy. Maybe the bay will be okay. Just be safe there. Maybe the sound, you can get away with it. Just be careful. Best bet's going to be, it looks like, on Monday as things start to settle down. But here's high tides, North Shore for the early afternoon, South Shore late morning on Saturday. It's also going to be chilly, 50s and 60s on Saturday. We get back to some 60s on Sunday. Let's check the Guru quickly, and confirming on Saturday, this is just, forget about it, not good. Northeast, looks like a winter pattern here. Sunday, the winds come down a little bit, maybe the bay can get away with that, but either way, just be very safe. Dangerous weather this weekend, dangerous ocean conditions, you got to use your head. Make the best of it, and again, have a safe weekend. Matt, back to you.
Now let's check in with Fisherman Senior Editor Fred Golofaro with the Surf Report. Fred?
Hey, thanks, Matt, and blues are still thick in many areas, basically the whole South Shore, from Rockaway all the way out to Montauk, actually even Staten Island. Mike over at Bernie's, he said Coney Island, Breezy Point, loads of blues, 3 to 12 pounds, most of them on the smaller side, an occasional bass mixed in. Working east, Brendan over at Jones Beach Bait and Tackle, he's also from Captree Bait and Tackle, said West End Jones Beach and the backside of Jones, there's been blitzes of blues, mixed sizes. Even the Jones Beach Piers saw a major blitz one day this past week. Mike over at Salt Waters, it's at Fire Island, Demo Bar, the back of Demo, the back of Robert Moses 2 and 4. A lot of good days, lots of blues. Tuesday was excellent for big blues. Mark Shinori and Bill Colson got into them heavy on Saturday and Tuesday. They wore themselves out catching blues up to 10, 12 pounds. I've managed several bass up into the 20-pound class, snap jigging in between all the bluefish. So there are a few decent bass in there. Getting through the blues is the hardest part. Rich over at Dick's, some Rich's Inlet's loaded, the back of Cupsog, the Breach, the Narrows still holding a lot of bluefish from the mainland shore, and also the backside of Smith Point. A lot of this bluefish, and a lot of guys are throwing diamond jigs at tins. Some areas they are throwing poppers, and bucktails are also taking a lot of fish. And if there are any bass in the mix, it's usually on the bucktails. Over in Shinnecock, Bryce from Whitewater said the inlet's inundated with bluefish. Some days they're all big, sometimes they're mixed. Tuesday was excellent. There in Shinnecock. In fact, I spoke to a couple of casters who had been out there on Tuesday, and they said it was just full bore bluefish. At night, there are some bass to 18 pounds in the inlet, also in the back bays. And Bryce also mentioned some weakfish to 10 pounds from a few of the back bay spots. Peconic Bay is loaded with weakfish. Most of it's going to boatmen, and ditto for Fire Island too. Great South Bay's got a lot of weakfish. That Ocean Beach, Fire Island Pines, Pointer Woods, that area there, lots of weakfish. But not hearing of a lot of weakfish from shore. Here and there, a fish or two. The South Fork and the Peconics can over tight lines tackle in Sag Harbor. Quote unquote blues everywhere. Acabonic area, Barcelona Point, Shinnecock Inlet, just to name a few. Also a decent showing of bass to 30 pounds along the Peconic shoreline at night. And I know our managing editor Matt Broderick and Andrea Caruana, both Sunday and Monday nights, they got into some decent bass action. Fish from the teens, upper teens to 30 pounds, and they were taking mag darters and bombers. Out in Montauk, Paul from Paulie's, lots of blues. They're on the sand beaches, on the north side, on the bay side, up at the point. Pretty much all around, bouncing around day to day. There are bass at night. Most are schoolies on the south side rocks and on the north side. But Brandon Saucely did nail a 31 pounder, and that fish leads the Surf Masters tournament at the present time. North Shore, still very few bluefish, just some scattered reports. Blaze over at Duffy's said he checked a few blues from 6 to 10 pounds that came out of Hempstead Harbor. Jim over at Miller Place Bait and Tackle knew of some blues up to 4 or 5 pounds from Rocky Point. But that's been about it on the bluefish. Remains to be seen whether all these blues are going to make their way over to the Sound or not. I certainly hope so. There's good numbers of bass to slot size. That's according to Mark at Cow Harbor. They're inside the harbors and also on some of the outside beaches. And also a good showing of weeks. There's some pretty good week fishing going on in the harbors from Hempstead Harbor to Centerport. And that fishing's been pretty consistent up to this point. So again, lots of activity, a lot of it's blue, but it's a lot of fun. We're on the downside of the moon. I expect to have some big bass in the reports in the coming weeks. And I think the next few nights going into the weekend, we've got some weather coming, low pressure, and I think they're calling for rain Friday and Saturday, which will keep the holiday crowds down, which can be a good thing if you're fishing. So let's see how it shakes out. Matt, back to you.
The Dreamboat contest is underway. Fish hard, gather up points, and be the owner of a new 25-foot Steigercraft center console. All it takes is a subscription to the magazine and you're entered. Click on the card in the top right for all the details. Speaking of the Dreamboat contest, I stopped by one of our official weigh-in stations for the contest. On location today at Burnett's Marina Bait and Tackle, located at 16 Bayview Avenue in Bayshore. They're family-owned and operated since 1974. They're also proud to offer a facility for sport fishermen and their families. Home of the offshore bait specials for shark and tuna, Burnett's is fully stocked and ready for the several upcoming shark tournaments. They carry an array of offshore and inshore tackle and have very helpful and knowledgeable crew to help you catch more fish. They're also an official weigh station for the Dreamboat Challenge, which is convenient because weak fishing and the bluefish bite has been great not too far from the marina. So if you are fishing the Great South Bay and land a nice catch, bring it over to Greg and the crew at Burnett's Marina. It's time to get to our correspondents from around the island. Now let's check in with Captain Timothy O'Rourke from Montauk. Tim?
Thanks, Matt. Well, greetings everybody this week from Montauk. Again, everything's starting to come together. The weather cooperated well this week. We had some beautiful weather over the weekend. Plenty of guys were getting out. We've been seeing some really big pods of bluefish and even some big pods of striped bass boiling on the surface. So a lot of guys are picking away at that on light tackle and spinning rods. The charter fleet's pretty slowly but steadily getting back at it. Everybody's getting back out on the water and starting to pick away at some fluke and all the other stuff. The Viking did an offshore trip last week. They had some rough conditions off of Hydrographer Canyon for mixed tilefish and other bottom fish species, so it was a little rough out there, but they still picked away at some decent fish. Again, I mentioned last week the Mercury Grand Slam tournament is back. It's going to be Saturday, July 24th and Sunday, July 25th. This is a great kids tournament event that they put on, and they will be honoring the captain this year is Steven Forsberg. So if you can come on out and join the tournament, that'd be great. They missed it last year. It's for the Kiwanis Club of East Hampton. I'll include a link to the flyer in here. And everybody, the weather's looking bad for the weekend, but get all your rods and reels ready so the next weekend you can get out there and hit it hard. Thank you, Matt. Back to you.
We have a new correspondent this week, William Graham of the East End Angler. William.
Thanks, Matt. So report for this week out of Sag Harbor, Peconics are coming alive. There's weakfish, there's porgies, bluefish have been blitzing everywhere. I've been trying to capitalize on the top water bite, which has been phenomenal. Fluking has been so-so in the bay. Mixed reports getting kind of 50-50. Green lawns has been less productive than kind of the Greenport, north side of Shelter Island area. Striped bass are starting to kind of make their way in. Keepers have been reported mostly under the cover of darkness as the bluefish around the area and Peconics and Jessup's Neck have been absolutely ravenous, very aggressive, but we're excited for the weeks to come. Thanks, Matt. Now back to you.
From Shinnecock, let's check in with Mike Dean, who has this week's guest editor log in the Fisherman magazine. Click on the card in the upper right to read his log and get more information on the Manhattan Cup. Mike?
Thanks, Matt. Hey, everyone. Very cool time of year to be fishing. It is phenomenal here. This bluefish bite is everything it's been hyped up to be. From striking out for a few days to finding them, having them, little section of the tide, a couple hours on the end of incoming seems to be when it's happening the most. They're not all gators, but just a lot of fun. I've been using a Gray Lady Tackle Hellfire, really big chrome and green pencil. It was working in skinny water off a boat near Morich's Inlet back in the bay there. So, I mean, anything on the surface making a commotion, but just watch it with the trebles. It's this Gray Lady one are single hooks, so, no pain in the ass drama comes up with that. That's kind of been the whole story out here. The blues, got them pretty good. Scott Johnson wailed on these blues. The last count was 30, and I heard at least 6, 2 more fish, and I'm ready to go to his buddy. So get out there and fish. Weather looks about the same the next few days. I haven't spoken to Rich Ronald yet, but with what looks like could be some snotty weather this weekend and with the moon, looks like a great combination with so much bait around and so many fish. Something's going to happen. I don't know. Hopefully some big bass that have been around Moses. Be nice if they showed up here. So get out there, fish, catch them up, have fun. Friday, June 4th, Manhattan Cup. Last chance. Do it. It's one of the most phenomenal days of fishing. We're getting 25 post-combat vets out for the day. I've seen lives change in one day of fishing. For a lot of these veterans, it's a lock that it's going to happen again, and it's something really cool to be part of. All the top anglers, contact me, comments below, social media, on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and we'll figure out a way to make it work. All right, back to you, Matt. Thanks.
With our fly and freshwater report, we have Paul Mccain from River Bay Outfitters.
Hello, Matt. Well, this has been quite the week for me. I was out fishing every morning before work for saltwater on the local parks. Did okay. Had a few days that were really good. But big news for me was I actually went out to, ran a shop trip to Stump Pond. And let me tell you, it was really, really good. Everybody had fish, bluegills, crappie, perch, and some real nice largemouth, all on the fly. It was an absolutely gorgeous day. As far as the Connecticut, what can I say? It's still fishing good. It will fish good all spring, and summer, because it's a spring creek, so it stays constant. I'll be guiding out there a few days. I'm looking forward to get out there. My son and I plan on fishing out there. More importantly, I'm planning my trips to go up to smallmouth and trout up in Connecticut. So check out my website. And until next week, Matt, tight lines.
And from Northport, we have Mark McGowan from Cow Harbor Bait and Tackle.
Fishing on the North Shore of Long Island has been nothing but beautiful, wonderful, positive vibes. I have to tell you, fish all over, whether it's fluke, weak fish, porgies, striped bass. Man, it's just wonderful. I can't never forget those wonderful sea robins. There's a lot of sea robins, but flay them up, give them a try. They're kind of tasty, you might be surprised. Now, the big thing that we have going on this week is the supermoon. The supermoon is so important to the North Shore, as that we have these large muddy areas that can be deep. The Long Island Sound has a lot of deep, muddy areas, and in those areas you have mantis shrimp. And when the full moon comes out in May, it's a magical time for fishermen. Whether you're off the beach or off the boat, these mantis shrimp, they spawn and fish are drawn to them. So you're going to find that a lot of the fish that were up in the shallows the previous week in the sun are going to transition to those deeper, muddier areas. You want to look for things that fish like, species, deeper, slopey areas, little upper spots, and try to find a transition of where sand and mud come together. It's those spots that you're going to find fish like sea bass, even though they're out of catch time right now. You got to throw the sea bass back. They're freaking huge, big porgies. But what really chase those mantis shrimp are trophy size weak fish, trophy size fluke, and really big striped bass. So it's a great opportunity for a fisherman to get out there and really target these. Always keep that in your logbook. This is a big thing to remember, and a treasured piece of advice when fishing the North Shore. Now, coming off this supermoon, you're going to be looking for extreme tides, extreme currents, and that means in those back areas where creeks flood, you're going to have spawn of bait fish, small little grass shrimp, worms, all types of stuff from this super moon, and it's going to flood those grassy areas like Nessequag River, like the back of Stony Brook, like the back of harbors here in Centerport and Huntington, Northport. Pick out those areas that have a lot of reedgrass, something like Lloyd's Harbor if you're fishing locally. And what's going to happen is these grasses are going to get inundated with water, and then they're going to drop super low. And when they drop super low, all of those bait fish, they get rushed out. They're going to be in the troughs, and bigger fish, they move in. It's like a fishing bonanza, and it's just great advice. I hope to see you out there, and until next week, I bid you peace and tight lines.
And from Northport, we have Mark McGowan from Cow Harbor Bait and Tackle.
Hey Matt, Fire Island report. Right now it's weak fish. That's the hot ticket. Ocean Beach area is the best. However, some fish are being caught in West Channel, East Channel, around the Kismet Reef. But right by Ocean Beach, Ocean Bay Park has kind of been the hottest spot. But again, a lot of boat traffic. Everybody's on it. You got to get there early or late in the day. And, even though it is crowded, you'll probably be able to pick a couple of fish out of there. So that's really been the hot seller right now. That's what everybody's kind of targeting. I'm loving the Bluefish plug-in in the back bay shallows. I've been using popping plugs, catching fish anywhere from 4 to 10 pounds, and having a blast with that. Fluke fishing's kind of picky. And striped bass, I've just heard of the first fish that was over slot size, over 35 inches. So a couple of big ones showing up. That's about it for this week, Matt. Back to you.
From Oceanside, we have Captain Joey Weggio with the Debs Inlet Report.
Hey Matt, what's going on, brother? Okay, the Debs Inlet Report. Fluke are still in the bays. There's some sea robin, some fluke. I haven't heard any reports of the blowfish, but some of the gulps have been coming a bit, so we know that those blowfish are around. I don't know if anybody's targeted them yet. If you are, definitely leave a mark in the comments. Blues are in the bay as well. On the outside, the bass have definitely showed up. There's been some nice stripers being caught. It's not that thick. I'm sure the run hasn't come down yet, but there's definitely fish to be caught outside. Both on the spoons and the mojos have been taking fish. Over on the reefs, I tried out with my buddies. I had Raph and the crew out, and we went playing with the reef, seeing if we can get some codfish, see if there's any porgy life. There was absolutely zero porgy life on the reefs. Plenty of blackfish were caught, and plenty of very large sea bass, all which had to go back, which kind of stinks. I wish the season would open a little earlier because the fish are just absolutely gorgeous. But hey, it is what it is. You know, we caught them, released them, and that's that. We did have one codfish that was an inshore, so that went back as well. Other than that, that's basically my report. Get out there, like I always say, and preach, get those kids out there, man. It's beautiful. I know there's been a lot of wind this year, but on those calm days, definitely get your kids out there. And go hit those bays, hit those bridges. You could probably chum up some bass at the bridges right now. But that's it, man. That's my report. So back to you, Matt.
Captain Mike Sentry has the latest from Staten Island.
Thanks, Matt, Tim, and Fred. Hope all is well. Well, folks, another outstanding week. Let me tell you, striped bass in the Raritan Bay and within the 3-mile line is on fire. This time of year, topwater action works extremely well. Plugs like the Tsunami Talking Popper, any size. That's Talking Popper, it works very well. From calm water to a little bit of rough water, it gets the job done. Calm water, the good old-fashioned Zara Spook plug with the walk the dog action. That plug is amazing. Give it a shot, especially in the white color. This week had Jimmy and friends on board Anglers of Legend Sportfish. A trip for striped bass was in the making. Within 1 hour of the lines being wet, the boat had its limits and plus. From there, the crew got tired of catching striped bass, so we were on the hunt for gator blues. Unfortunately, no gator blues. Everything that was being caught was pretty much cocktail blues within 2 or 3 pounds. Most of them were caught on the Sea Strike 3-ounce crocodile spoon, single hook with the bucktail. That seems to produce a lot of blues. And from there, got tired of that, decided to drop lines. We had about an hour to burn for fluke. No luck, a lot of boat traffic, so we pretty much just called it a day. One thing I want to say is this year has been phenomenal for striped bass. The regulations put in place last year of 1 fish per person is proof that conservation is working. Folks, as the weather warms up, expect Anglers of Legend Sportfish to put you on quality game fish and big sharks in June. I cannot wait. So please follow my Facebook page, Anglers of Legend Sportfish, and back to you, Matt.
Remember to like our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and tap on the bell to be notified instantly when we post a new video on YouTube. And of course, to be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine to be part of the Dreamboat contest and Coastal Kayak Clash. Check out this week's description on YouTube for all the related links and the index for our specific reports. And please support our correspondents by visiting their websites and social media pages. See you all here next week at the allnewfisherman.com. And also, let's not forget what Memorial Day is all about. Please think of the men and women who sacrificed so we can have our freedom today.
Steigercraft boats, built by people who fish our waters. Serious anglers choose Steigercraft for their 40 years of boat building experience right here in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. Visit steigercraft.com for a dealer near you.